Hi, this is Jillian from Get Living Raw Foods and Wellness Coaching. I want to show you how to make a very simple breakfast. This breakfast is a great way to be able to start your day. You can keep it in your fridge. I make enough for about 4 or 5 days, and then I just take out a little bit. It's Bircher Muesli, and you can, I have a very basic recipe, but I'll give you some options as well as you see how we make this. It really is a great way, especially if you're trying to change into a plant-based eating. This breakfast will actually fill that void as you're making those changes. If you listen to my teaching videos on changing to plant-based foods, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So look for those and you'll understand the need for just something a little comforting at first. And then, or even during those times, maybe when the seasons are changing, getting into winter, you just need a little bit more comfort. This is a really delicious breakfast to use. So let's get started. So we have 1 banana. Now the reason why I actually like banana, I'm going to be mashing this. I do enjoy putting bananas in my, it just sort of adds sweetness, but in the Bircher Muesli, this is not necessary. You could just do it with the straight oats and the milk or whatever liquid you want to use. But this just adds a little bit of sweetener to my oats. I'm going to throw in the oats, and you see how simple this is. I was 1 cup of oats, 1 banana, and of course I have a thing, if anybody knows me, I have a thing about cacao, and cacao is not a misspelling, it's the raw version of cocoa. So cocoa is cacao that has not been roasted. So cacao means it hasn't gone through a roasting process, there's no heat that's been worked on this, and it obviously has all its nutrients intact. And also cacao is also a great protein source. And eating plant-based, we don't need to eat as much protein. As I said, you need to watch my videos, my teaching videos on plant-based eating, where you get your protein from. But I always like to make sure I am getting enough of my protein, which I only need about 50 grams, which is actually not a lot. This is hemp seeds, also nice protein source. Great way to start your breakfast. In the mornings, your blood sugar tends to be higher. So it's good to, I believe, to start off with more of a protein breakfast, so you're not continuing that blood sugar spike, so that your blood sugar can even out and your metabolism can be kicked into starting properly. These are cranberries. You could use any. You don't even have to add these. These are cranberries that have been sweetened with pineapple juice. I had to think about that for a minute. And so it's very simple. I'm going to take, this is milk. You could use any source of milk you'd like. This is oat milk that I'm using today. Sometimes I use almond milk. Of course, you can use anything. And if you don't want to even use the milk, you could actually make this with water. Very simple. And this is, I'm just going to give it a nice swirl in the morning. So I'm going to leave this overnight. I'm going to put this in the fridge. And I say this will last about 4 days in my fridge. Just like this, I'll cover it up. And isn't this wonderful? And so I just have to take out a little bit in the mornings. And I have this, if you want, you can add a little bit of maple syrup, but you really don't need to. You can eat it like this. You can, instead of using oats, I've made this with quinoa, raw quinoa. I haven't even cooked the quinoa and just let it soak. I've made it with millet. I've made it, I'm trying to think what other grains, and I've added different types of seeds in it as well. Just really what I have on hand. And also, sometimes I'll add a spirulina. It makes a little, you don't really notice that the green actually doesn't make it that green. But this is a seaweed, it's an algae actually, and it's also high in protein, of course high in iodine. And as a woman, I certainly want to make sure I'm getting enough iodine in my diet. This is guayusa powder. It's from the Amazon. It's better than green tea, than the matcha. It's a great source of energy, so a great way to start your day as well. And it's just very good source. Another thing I can throw in is my baobab powder. I like this because it's exceptionally high in vitamin C, and I'm a real strong believer in vitamin C for healing and keeping your autoimmune system strong and healthy. So these are just a couple of my supplements that you can add to your meal. So I hope you enjoyed that.